My name is Brandon Masulo. I'm the Director of Behavioral Health for Worcester Community Hospital, and I'm also a member of the Suicide Prevention Coalition in Wayne and Holmes County. And today, what we're going to do, this is the first in a series of videos, basically meant for the community to help them better understand what the Suicide Prevention Coalition does, as well as some of its members as well. So first off, we're going to talk to Rhiannon Whalen-Harris, and she's going to talk a little bit about herself, a little bit about the Suicide Prevention Coalition, and how she really positively impacts the community. So first off, thanks for joining us, Rhiannon.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
So can you just briefly introduce yourself?
Sure. So again, my name is Rhiannon Whalen-Harris, and I am the Director of Community Relations and Prevention for 180. I've been with the agency for close to 9 years now, and my background is in education as well as psychology. I have a master's in educational psychology, where I focused on the neurobiology of motivation. And other than that, on a more personal note, I grew up in the Wayne County area, came back here when I took my position with 180 and love being in this area. My husband and I live in Worcester with our dog Wheezy, and it's a great place to be.
It's a great name for a dog, Wheezy.
She's a French bulldog, so it's pretty fitting for her.
Oh, okay. I got you. All right. So the first question I have is, can you describe what the Suicide Prevention Coalition of Wayne and Holmes County is and what it does?
Yeah, the Suicide Prevention Coalition is focused on being able to spread resources and education about the prevention of suicide, and to really look at some of the specific populations of individuals who are affected by suicide. Overall, we know that really everybody in the community is, but there are also some populations that are a little bit more vulnerable. And so being able to teach about how others can be supportive and get the right resources to individuals that need it. And then, like I said, we have a focus on getting resources out into the community with crisis numbers and text lines and things of that nature.
Sure. And what motivated you to become involved with the Suicide Prevention Coalition?
Well, for one, I'll say, there's a benefit to the fact that I am able to do this work as part of my job with 180, because there are connections to all sorts of behavioral health issues and suicide. But the Suicide Prevention Coalition is one of the community groups that I really chose to be a part of. I actually asked the organization if I could be a part of this community group because I have been impacted personally. I've had a couple of significant losses in terms of suicide deaths within my family, and some other traumatic losses within my friends group. And so, it's just something that I'm incredibly passionate about. Beyond that, I've also experienced people that I'm close to having suicide attempts. And so the trainings that we do to educate individuals on how they can be a support, such as the QPR, the question, persuade, and refer, I'm just incredibly passionate about it because I believe truly that it can make a difference. And for those that are lost by suicide, I also just believe that it's so incredibly important for us to get the support system out to the survivors.
So for those who don't know what QPR is, can you briefly explain that and how it impacts the community or how it benefits the community?
Yeah, question, persuade, and refer is a training that it's really a fairly brief training. We can do it in an hour, though we generally try to get about an hour and a half to 2 hours when possible. But it basically is the concept of, if you learn CPR, then you can potentially save a life. if you learn the QPR, the question, persuade, refer process for an individual that is possibly suicidal, then you can also save a life. And it's about being really direct in understanding what some of the red flags or warning signs are for somebody who may be suicidal. And then again, just learning how to be direct with asking the questions and what comes next, so that you're really being a support system for individuals and getting them connected to the right professionals. Like, you don't have to be a counselor or a psychologist or a psychiatrist to ask some of the questions and help save a person from suicide.
Okay. And you've done these QPR trainings in the community?
Yeah, we try to do them as frequently as possible. And so that's definitely one of the messages that we want to get out. Anybody that has a group, maybe it's a faith-based community, a business, something of that nature that they believe that they could set one of these trainings up at, we would love for them to get in touch with us, because the more that we get this training into the community, the better it is for everyone, because truly it can be the difference in whether somebody is willing to talk about the feelings that they have and the challenges that they have or not. And yeah, we're kind of, for the most part, willing to do those trainings anywhere that people are willing to kind of have us. And we are doing those trainings virtually now as well.
Okay, all right. Well, thanks for taking us down the road about what QPR is and how it impacts the community positively. That was very helpful. So on a more lighthearted note, you said you live here in Wayne County. What's your favorite restaurant here in Worcester?
Oh, that's really hard. We have some really wonderful restaurants in this area. I'll tell you that I have really loved the fact that TJ's has been incredibly kind of diverse with their vegan and vegetarian menu. And as a vegetarian, that has been wonderful for me. So they're kind of always switching it up. So yeah, I'll say that, but that's not to discredit that there are a lot of other really wonderful restaurants.
There are, exactly. Also, there are a lot of great information about the Suicide Prevention Coalition as well as QPR. And I know you do a lot of great stuff for 180 in the community. So thanks for coming on. And if you like the video, please like and share it. Get the word out about the Suicide Prevention Coalition of Wayne and Holmes County. And we have a lot of great resources here on the Facebook page to help you and others. Right. Thanks,
Brandon.